last video we talked about lawsuits, and we're talking more lawsuits and appeals on this video. But before we start, thank you for subscribing, thank you for liking, thank you for sharing. You are important to us, you the viewer here watching CutiCast TV, Man with the Show, very important on there. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, it's basically, you know, you're the ones that are keeping us alive. You sit there day in, day out. You know, we had a good last week with a lot of views. Hopefully we'll be able to increase that this week. Once again, thank you to those who have subscribed, liked, and shared our videos. Well, a while back we discussed, well, let's say yesterday we discussed, the last video we discussed about the Vic Mignogna case being appealed. Well, it looks like another major case is going to be appealed. We've discussed about the Star Trek Discovery lawsuit versus Anas Abin, who basically is a creator of a video game. If you're not familiar with this case, he created a video game called Tardigrades, which basically CBS and Star Trek Discovery lifted elements from that and put it into season 1 on there. Anas decided to, you know, basically try to work this out with CBS, but in no effort, CBS just literally just gave him the door, so he decided to sue. Now, the case itself basically ruled in favor of CBS. That means basically the case was basically dismissed. You know, I can't see how, you know, why, but, you know, of course, it's going to happen. You know, and you know, it's the same thing that happened with the Vic Mignogna case. It depends on the judge, what he saw, what we, you know, something we didn't see, and decide on there. But here's the good news about this: a appeal is being worked on. Now, here's where you can come in on this. Now, if you're familiar with Nerdrotic, nerdrotic.com, Gary I can never say his name. We'll say Gary there. He has set up a GoFundMe page. I'll put it in the lines below, down below there in the descriptions. You can go over there. Last I checked, I think we were over $17,000. They're trying to raise $20,000. You could go over there. Basically, it's listed as Justice for Anas. And I think even Gary's doing like a little, he did a telethon over the weekend. I think they're going to do another one with Midnight's Edge, if they haven't done it yet. They're also selling t-shirts that says Justice for Anas. And basically, you know, they've raised, with over 400 donors, they've raised, you know, $17,000, which is great. You know, because basically it's expensive to sue. And, you know, there are a lot of laws in the books that need to be changed when it comes to copyright infringement and stuff like that. And when you looked at the evidence, I mean, I just can't see. The only thing I could think of why this was dismissed was just basically some rule of law or something like that they just couldn't get around. Because basically, you know, you have a situation where characters were even copied. You know, very distinguished elements were copied. I mean, this is just blatant straight now. And it's not the first time, you know, you have someone like Alex Kurtzman, who has been caught before in plagiarism. The lawsuit on the movie with Ewan McGregor, The Island, which was settled out, which I believe it was settled out a court on that one. You know, supposedly it was plagiarized from something else. And, you know, I wouldn't, and the thing about it is I, you know, take this from a situation, whether you believe me or not, you know, go out yourself, research this out. This is not the first time Star Trek has been accused of plagiarism and stuff like that. Many years ago with the Deep Space Nine series, you know, a lot of people say, nah, it can't be on there. No, yeah. I mean, when you have a lot of the coalition of actors that were on the series and they know on there that basically, you know, you have Paramount, who held on to the elements of Babylon 5 when J. Michael Straczynski was trying to pitch it off to them, and they held it for quite some time, and then they gave it back, and they just passed along, and then suddenly they have something similar, and they call it Deep Space Nine. You got to say to yourself, something's wrong here. And one thing about Michael Straczynski, he didn't want to go forward with this because he has to deal with companies like Paramount and CBS and stuff like that. If he wants to stay in his business, I can understand that. But I think it's about time, we start slamming some of these networks. Things are changing. Things are, Hollywood, California is dying out. The next is going to be the television networks, on there, because basically, you have streaming now. You have the streaming wars going on. Everything's going to become streaming very easily. Productions are going to be done differently, from the point of view that, it's going to go straight to a streaming site. We're hearing, rumors that the Sony's He-Man movie might be sent to Netflix. That's a possibility. Not to direct theaters or, cable companies or network. You're getting a lot of independent content coming very soon. And the thing about it is, a lot of it's not protected. Especially stuff that basically it's just regular Joe like you and me. We may create something, and then someone grabs an element of it, and we try to sue for it, and they're like, nah, we didn't copy it. It's just, it's just it's a what they call an element that basically, every other movie has, like CBS claimed it's like a Western. In a Western, you're always going to have a gunfight. And, in a sci-fi series, you're going to have a tardigrade. But that's not the situation that it is that you use the tardigrade, as a device to move through space. And you use the same elements the way that it was done on the video game to promote onto the Star Trek Discovery series. So, if you have a gunfight and the two gunfighters have the coolest guns in the world, but they shoot in 5 different directions, and someone else wrote a story where they said the guns shoot in 5 different directions, you're going to have a lawsuit there. It has nothing to do with the gunfight itself. It has to do with the elements within the gunfight that basically maybe the particular type of guns, or basically the way the people acted as far as that. You can have copies of that as well. I mean, we've seen this many a time on many different lawsuits. I've been saying the independent artist, the independent producer, the independent writer, basically they're the new resource. They are the really good resource right now. You got plenty of guys on YouTube. You got plenty of guys online that they make their own projects, movies and stuff like that. I just saw, and I'm trying to remember the name of the site. I think it's DW 2012, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that. It's a Doctor Who site where these guys are making episodes of their own episodes of Doctor Who. And they're doing a pretty good job of it. I was just watching on there, and the stories are very good. I mean, some of the elements in the shooting, there's some techniques that need to be changed around a little bit, but that's okay. They're doing what they want to do, and it's not bad at all. It's watchable. I watched one the other day, which was a big story they did about, if you're familiar with the Doctor Who series, Omega, who basically created time travel in the Doctor Who TV series, and he was trying to destroy the universe and stuff like that. And it was a great story that they were doing on there. It was sort of a rehash of the 3 Doctors, but one step further, which included Daleks and Cybermen and Sontarans and, many other different elements from the Doctor Who series. And it was well done. It was very well done. I mean, they're making their own TARDIS. They're making their own costumes. I think that I'm not certain how they do the Daleks. I think those might be computer generated stuff, but everything else is that they're making their own costumes, And that's why I said the independent artists, they do a lot of work to do these things. And these corporations, they just don't want to pay out these guys for their, ideas. They said, "Oh, why didn't we think of that? Why don't we just take a little piece of it and just grab it?" They they could sue, but we got better lawyers than them. I mean, that's their mentality. And basically, that's wrong. And this is why Hollywood and broadcast television is failing in its way, because basically they're not creating the shows they should be creating for the viewers. Everything's all Mary Sue, SJW, such and such, politics thrown into there. They're wondering why their series are bombing out left and right. It's because you're not making a good series. You have Star Trek: The Continues and Axanar, which looks, fantastic. No matter what you think of these two series on YouTube, they're still doing a very good job in what they're doing on there. Then you have the guy who's doing the Darth Vader mini movie on Star Wars. That's fantastic. You have this Doctor Who series. There's a couple of other series that are through YouTube that they're doing the due diligence. They're independent. They're independent artists. They should be respected. And this is one of the reasons why I got back into this with Cuticast TV, is because I was independent, and I just put up a little front on some of the stuff from people that I know that we put up, like for example the Rabbit T Rabbit show that we have here on Cuticast TV, and that's an independent also. God rest Richard Concepcion's soul on that. He created a great show. It could have gone further, and he had a lot of great ideas. On the show, and he did very well for himself. He didn't get any network or stuff like that, but he enjoyed doing what he does. And if someone stole that, that would have been heartbreaking for him, that if someone did that. And this like I said, this happens constantly, and the laws are not with the independent artist. So, comment below. Tell me what you think. And I'm telling you right now, go over to the GoFundMe. Like I said, in the description below, Gary from Nerdrotic has it listed on there. Do check up with nerdrotic.com and Nerdrotic on YouTube and Midnight's Edge. I think they're probably going to be doing another telethon very soon to raise more money. Buy one of their wares on the t-shirts as well, because they basically said all t-shirt proceeds, you see it on the thumbnail here, Justice for Anas. Those proceeds are going to basically Anas and the lawsuit. So, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for hitting that subscription, hitting that like, sharing. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching Man with a Show on Cuticast TV. We'll see you on the next one.